He responds, I think for me the greater issue there is this ceteris paribus.
All things held constant.
Yeah, the all things held constant factor. When they were polling, given the background, they already knew the trend. They already, I would want to imagine that you studied how when you campaign for a week, when a candidate campaigns for a week, this is how far they go. When a candidate campaigns, you know, once in 7 days, this is what it means. I would like to imagine something like that happens, so that by the time you are ceteris paribus, this 1 week, you have an idea of what it could do, you know, which way it could tilt things based on how the ceteris paribus for the previous weeks has been. You know, it's not just out in the open.
But is it really for the statistician who cannot entirely predict? Because you'll find some politicians will say something on the day before the election and it sways votes away from them. Is it possible?
Which something is this that was said?
Yeah, and of course there are many. There are literally many. There was a religious conversation long after the polls were done. I'm just citing examples. There were many things that happened. Yeah, so let's not ignore the fact that there were many factors that changed. But one of the things that we also fault, you know, how some of these things are reported is because we report the numbers only, and the interpretation which are actually very, very clear. And with me, I have an interpretation which I gave you to read. This is what the statement we gave to the media. And
sound bites.
At the punchline, we're very clear. With 7 days to the election day, race still has tangible twists and turns. What does that mean? So the interpretation was already there. We looked at those various situations and the scenarios and interpreted it very clearly. In fact, as I talk to you, one of the things that is actually very, very clear is that Raila Odinga, the final tally, is not very far away from what the pollsters predicted. If he's at 49 and the pollsters predicted somewhere between 47
and 49. But the competitor?
And there, yes, and exactly there are reasons behind that. For example, when we say that there's this level of undecided vote, that could sway the election this way. And you actually even give how the election could be swayed. So we look at the numbers only. We don't look at the interpretation that the pollsters put in. And then we have this one massive judgment about them. Okay. So have we interrogated the interpretation? Because it was there.
So you're saying to some extent, Dr. is null and void. The second null and void in this afternoon.
Are they planning to review?
We will, of course we will.
Okay. Please share that report.
As Ipsos, we will,
please share
and we hope that this is something that we can actually share.
Okay.
But we want to request everybody for objectivity. Okay. You know, objectivity when reading this, reviewing this, commenting about it, and not in any emotional way, of course. You know, Kenyans and led by Prof.
Objectivity does not mean cut us some slack. It sounds like that.
As that habit of becoming the expert in interpretation of things that completely they do not have even the the knowledge about.
No, you give the numbers to us to interpret.
Okay. Yeah, so the moment they interpret the numbers and then fail to interpret the fail even to consider
and get it
the
wrong.
Interpretations,
and the
then we
context
get it wrong
and the lights.